YB stays on your neck.
It's on my neck.
Yo, my dons, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So big ups to my dog, Don Elder Don Richardson, for showing all the way out on the Patreon. Big love to you, General. Big ups. Salute, General. Anyway, cutting to the chase on this video. Wow. Whilst I started this video on a positive note, this is truly smoky stuff that's been happening. Anyway, I'll read the title. Andy Ruiz, AJ will run and try to win via decision. Now bear with me because I want to read the whole article out. So it says, if you ask Andy Ruiz, he thinks the British boxer is going to get on his bicycle in the rematch December 7th and be on the run instead of standing toe-to-toe in the middle of the ring to trade shots like they did the first time in June when Ruiz shocked the sports world and scored a 7th round finish. This is actually the quotes now. Ruiz says, he's going to try and win by points, especially since he's going to be running around. My job is to cut the ring, and that's exactly what we've been training for, Ruiz said at a press conference at the boxing club East Village in San Diego. I don't really worry about what he's doing.
I don't really worry about what he's doing. You know, we have to worry about what we're doing. He has to train hard. I feel that he has more pressure than I do. I just have to do what I have to do. And just have to let my hands go and focus.
So we heard there from a recording there from Ruiz. That there was a clip. I couldn't play the video because obviously copyrighting that. But listen, I think there's more here. But let me address this stuff first because that was the bulky part really. I think all the other stuff's talking about his weight. I couldn't care about his weight. Or I'll discuss that on a separate video. Listen. So Ruiz is sending out some fire shots here, and this is what I've been trying to tell people. I've got another video coming soon where Ruiz's trainer says some interesting things. But let me save that for another video. Bottom line is, let's address what's been said here. He's going to try and win by points, especially since he's going to be running around. Listen, this is what I've been trying to tell people. This is what I've been trying to tell my crackhead, yeah? Andy Ruiz is licking his chops. Everyone who thinks AJ needs to run around. This is why you don't want to run around, because Ruiz is looking at AJ like a punk now. Do you understand that? At least before, when he got hit with a Ghostbuster, it was anyone's fight. At least AJ was in the fight then. Do you understand that? If AJ goes backwards, in my opinion, I don't think he's in the fight. I don't. Because even in the Joseph Parker fight, which everyone loves to talk about, he weren't running away from Parker. You mad? Go and actually watch the fight. Sometimes I think that this channel, well, not everyone, but half of this channel is full of casuals who don't actually know boxing whatsoever. Now, people can sit there and say, I don't know boxing, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, actually go and look at the screen. People say, oh, well, look at the Parker fight. He was going backwards. What are you on? So, bearing in mind, by the way, for someone to go backwards, that means the other person was coming forwards. So, let me get something straight. You people who watched the Parker fight, what you took from them 12 rounds versus Parker was that AJ was constantly going backwards. Is that what you took from it? I'm struggling here. I really am. I'm struggling. Now, that said, if you look at the Andy Ruiz fight, that is going backwards. Yeah? AJ versus Ruiz is going backwards. AJ versus Parker is not going backwards. In fact, what I'm going to do is have to put a quick plug on that, but I'm going to actually analyse. The next thing I'm going to do on Patreon is analyse AJ versus Parker. I've already done AJ versus Ruiz, and AJ versus Ruiz is running. Factual, more or less. AJ's backing up and is backing up for no reason. Yeah, Parker, he was stepping forward, and every time he was about to get busy on the inside, the referee stepped in because Joseph Parker paid the ref off to save him on the inside, yeah? That's what we do. Everyone's sitting there talking about, oh, yeah, oh, good day, mate, oh, Joshua, mate, Joshua, the referee saved Joshua on the inside. What planet are people on? Parker never wanted nothing on the inside. Go and watch Parker versus Ruiz. Parker's backing up, scaling the edge of the ring. Go and watch Parker versus Dillian White. Parker's backing up, scaling the edge of the ring. Go and watch AJ versus Parker. Parker backing up about AJ who was going backwards versus Parker. You lot are gassed. Anyway, listen. My point is, no matter how this fight goes, in my opinion, I might be wrong. Let me put a disclaimer on this, like always. If I am wrong, if AJ does go backwards and pulls off a win, you know what? Put my hands in the air. I will. I swear to God I will. I'll come on here and I'll say, listen, guys, I underestimated AJ's ability to adapt. not even adapt, but I underestimate AJ's ability to mix it up because I've never seen him going backwards before. That's why I don't believe it's a good idea. Only because I haven't seen it. Maybe could easily happen. I think he's good enough to be able to do it. Is McCracken good enough to do that? It's not. Let's look at it right now. It's not as if Carl Froch was known as a man who was a great outboxer, is it? Let's be real now. He was known as not a fighter like AJ, but he was known as a gritty workhorse. He wasn't all frilly and going backwards either. So I'm not sure about McCracken's ability. That said, if I am proven wrong, my hands will go in the air. Listen, I'll say it straight. AJ's much more versatile than I expected. That said, I still don't even believe. I don't believe that'll be the best way he wins anyway. Going backwards, but maybe it's something that I do wrong. In as much as when I think of going backwards, I think of Fury. That's what comes to my mind. Fury versus Wilder, where you're just nipping, tucking, and running around. That to me, I just can't imagine that happening. Legs too thick, arms too thick. Even if he loses, even if he comes in at 240, it's just a different makeup. Fury's all skin and bone. Yeah. Different athletes here. It's like Usain Bolt and an Ethiopian marathon runner. That's what we're talking. Seriously, it's not a joke. But people forget because in running, you have different distances. In boxing, you have the same different athletes in as much as long distance people, short distance people. The difference is the sport isn't separated by distance. As an example, you don't have. If there was a 50-round fight, you'd probably notice that in a 50-round fight, you'd see a lot more skinnier people. Does that make sense? But boxing doesn't separate by distance. It's 12 rounds. So within that 12 rounds, you have a mix of bodies. Some people are long. Some people are short and powerful. The fact of the matter is, you have to know what you're about. And I've said before, I think AJ is more thick-set than Mike Tyson was. When you think about AJ being 6'6", with that in mind, when you're that way inclined, them legs ain't made to be running backwards. They're just not. I'm sorry, they're just not. And there ain't no way about it, in my opinion. But who knows? Let's see how it plays out. But putting that to one side, let me now justify my opinion, because not only do I not think AJ's genetics and AJ's makeup isn't that way inclined, I also don't believe his mindset's that way inclined. When you got that, AJ needs to have that road mindset. The road mindset is not, let me run backwards and try and win this, try and not lose this fight. That's how that last Ruiz fight, he was trying not to lose. And I mention this all the time, but I'm going to say it again. It's like the champion's curse. When you become a champion, people just start defending the belt. And rather than going out and actually rather than going out to win, they just start saying, oh, let me be conservative. Let me just not, does that make sense? And in doing that, it actually hampers their performance. And this is something that we're going to see because Ruiz is talking a good... I've got to be honest, he's talking a good talk in as much as he's champion now. But if he does what he says he's going to do, that's the best strategy in my opinion. Yeah? As an example, Ruiz, I'm not being funny, Ruiz fights how AJ more or less used to. Yes, AJ's a bit longer. Yes, AJ has a bit more of a 1-2 than Ruiz does. But what I'm trying to say is, AJ was a come forward ferocious fighter. Yeah? And what I'm trying to say is, as AJ had much more defenses than Ruiz, so we don't know how Ruiz is going to change, but my point is, over time, AJ's become more neutral, less aggressive. And that's something that, just because your mindset's moistened almost, your attitude, in the ring you can't moisten in the ring. Yeah? You've got to be what made you that great. And not only is your genetics made for it, not only do you need that mindset, also this particular opponent. As an example, if AJ was going in there with someone like, I don't know, Fury, if AJ wanted to try and outbox Fury, I think that's not a bad idea, to be honest. I don't know why, but I feel that if jab for jab, I know that AJ is going to be doing more damage than Fury is, so I wouldn't mind seeing that. And I also know that Fury, it's not like Fury is going to step on the front foot and be able to do anything. So that if AJ said, oh, you know what, I'm going to try and outbox Fury, I wouldn't mind that. I really wouldn't. I would not mind that at all, whatsoever. That said, against Ruiz, bearing in mind, AJ has a relatively short time, 6 months, to learn a whole new skill. AJ has never shown going backwards and just jabbing. Even the Povetkin performance, that was a ferocious breaking down and bust him up. That's what needs to happen. Yeah, simple as that. No going backwards and jabbing. Don't try and reinvent the wheel here. What you need to do, like Dillian White said, tighten you need that kind of defense. You need that defense where you can sit on the inside, tuck up when you have to, and let shots off. That's all you need to do. Literally, it really ain't rocket science here. You need to start doing stuff you ain't never done before. Because this Ruiz cat, he's turned on by this. He's taking the piss now. This is what's happening. You hear him here. Oh, AJ gonna be going backwards. He likes it. He likes the idea. Because in a way, I'm blaming some of you AJ fans for going out here and saying, oh yeah, AJ needs to box. So Ruiz is hearing this and he's turned on by it. I don't blame him, to be honest. Yeah, it's like, imagine Mike Tyson. Imagine Mike Tyson fighting someone, and Mike Tyson's opponent's fans saying, oh yeah, Mike Tyson's going to get beat by Spinks going backwards. Mike Tyson would have laughed at that. Yeah. Anyway, Tyson lost when people stood with him and bullied him. You have to bully the bully. Ruiz ain't going to get turned off with AJ going backwards. He's not. He's just not, man. I don't believe. But I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, my hands go in the air. I don't believe it though. Sometimes you have to stand your ground and let shots go. And let him know it's not going to be one of them ones tonight. AJ at some point is going to have to stamp his authority. Otherwise, in my opinion, he's going to be backing up. And after 5 rounds, his legs are going to fill up with lactic acid. And he's going to be in trouble. And he's going to end. And what's going to happen is, in this 8th round, he's going to end up having to stand anyway. Does that make sense? Because you're going to be so gassed, you ain't going to be able to move your legs anymore. Look at Fury as an example. His legs are gone now, and he has to stand there. So you're better off coming up there from the start. And people say, oh well, Ruiz is too quick. You just tuck up. If you tuck up, this is easy. I've got to admit, it's easy for me to say this, but I've seen other fighters do it. I've seen Holyfield tuck up versus Tyson and be able to do stuff. So don't talk about Ruiz. Ruiz isn't all that. He's really not. So I've seen fighters for years be able to do it. And another example, Ali versus Foreman. He was able to tuck up. So don't tell me, please, that, there's no possibility AJ could tuck up. Well, why is all these other fighters have been able to tuck up against harder, faster punchers? Yeah? Please explain. That don't make no sense to me. All these great fighters of history, Foreman, Tyson, who punched 20 times harder than Ruiz, 20 times faster than Ruiz. How come other people were able to beat them by tucking up? This is going to be one of them ones, yeah? Ruiz's punches, they ain't got nothing on them. They have got nothing on them, do you understand that? He was in there with Dimitrenko for 7 rounds, buttering him up, up and down, and he couldn't do nothing in there. And Dimitrenko weren't falling all over the place. Tuck up, absorb them. They're pity-patty shots. I'm not being funny. Yeah, he's got a bit of speed, but they're pity-patty. They're quick, but they ain't doing much. And there's not much on them. As proved, if he had that much power, yeah, Ruiz would have got in there with Dimitrenko. Because Dimitrenko was a walking heavy bag. He would have got in there with Dimitrenko and knocked him out, spark out. He couldn't do that. Yeah, Dimitrenko retired on his stool after 7 rounds. My point is, Dimitrenko didn't get put down. And that was because Dimitrenko had his earmuffs on. My point is, Dimitrenko proved that if you tuck up properly, that said, if AJ doesn't tuck up properly, if AJ's got his elbows flared up and his chin's in the air and he's backing up, then yeah, he'll get clipped and that'll be that. I'm not going to lie to you. But if his trainer has done half of his job and got AJ's elbows in and chin down and actually protecting his head and not just in the arms in the air flailing, then yeah, he'll tuck up, Ruiz will throw, and it'll be a good fight, in my opinion. But as I've said before, I'll be intrigued to see what you guys think, but from where I'm sitting and from the little I know about boxing, I just don't understand. How AJ is going to be able to turn into a Fury. And even then, let's think about the commercial aspect and the history aspect of it. Does AJ want to be one of them fighters that runs backwards now all of a sudden? My question is, what's making that change? Even if people are saying, yeah, he needs to go backwards, even if it is the case, even if it's somebody chooses to do, why? I don't understand it. Are you trying to say that you're not confident enough that you've got more power and you've got a better skill on the inside than Ruiz? He ain't Mike Tyson. I've said before, scarily enough, a prime AJ versus Mike Tyson would be a good fight. With that in mind, it kind of mugs myself. For me having that view, it kind of mugs to now hear that AJ. I'm not sure what AJ wants to do. This is just what people are saying. But if AJ does want to go backwards, I'll be questioning, what's that about? What does that say about? I don't understand the logic in that. You need to back yourself on this one. Yeah, you're the hammer. Just because you lost that for last fight, it don't mean you completely change your game plan. You go there with sharper tools, and last time you was a clone, last time you was concussed, and that was the end of it. And besides, to be fair, I'm just essentially speculating on what a whole load of wannabe ass AJ fans have said. But listen, in reality, I do think I think that AJ's team, as I've mentioned myself, I think the $100 million turkey's been set. I think that it was a setup. And that said, I don't think we're going to see an AJ that goes backwards anyway. I'm hoping we don't. I'm hoping he goes in there, it was a setup, and he knocks this guy out. That's what I'm hoping for. But anyway, just in case there was any confusion on this one, Ruiz, he's taking the PISS on this one. Yeah, he's feeding himself. Because he thinks he's going in there with a wounded antelope. Put it this way, what way do wounded antelopes go when they're injured? Backwards. Yeah, you won't see an antelope coming forwards towards the line. He's going backwards, and that's the point. Boxing's a lot about psychology. As an example, once again, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was great. You show me a time someone was able to jab, or someone was able to go backwards and turn Mike Tyson off. Show me. He's been in there with Larry Holmes, one of the best jabs in the world. Couldn't do nothing with it. Couldn't do squat with it. And don't talk about Lewis, because I'm not being funny. Tyson gave him a good fight for a few rounds until he was 20 years past his best anyway. But when Tyson was in his prime, no one, Spinks as well. Spinks had no one was able to go backwards and turn him off. Completely bang on it. Loved coming forward, and that's the same with Ruiz. And look at what he's saying here. His words here illustrate what he's thinking. He's thinking he's turned on. He can't wait to get in there. He's chomping at the bit, thinking he's going to go in there with an AJ who's going to be running backwards, afraid. That's what it implies. Going backwards is when you're afraid or don't want to get stuck in, especially when he should be expecting. Like, it's one thing to go in there with Fury and Fury to go backwards. It's another thing to go in there with a fighter who's known for coming forwards to suddenly start going backwards. Does that make sense? Like an example, if Mike Tyson suddenly starts going backwards, you know there's a problem. You know he's psychologically not the same because his whole career's been going forward. As an example, when he gets backed up versus Buster Douglas, when he gets backed up versus Holyfield, you knew then there was something wrong because I ain't never seen him take a back step before. So it's just got to be. You don't necessarily even have to come forwards. My point is, you're going to have to plant them feet. You're going to have to. You can't be scaling the side of the ring on this one because you're going to run out of cardio. And then when you run out of cardio, you're not going to be able to defend yourself. You're not going to be able to do any offense anyway. You're best off holding your feet like Canelo did versus Golovkin in the second fight, tucking up. Your defense got to be on point and then taking it from there. That's what needs to happen. All this boxing, all this trying to be a boxer stuff is great. It's not great, and it don't get you no more fans either. No one's praising you because you might be able to go backwards. No one wants to see that anyway. Yeah, they want to see people banging essentially, but not sloppy banging. You don't have to bang sloppy. I keep mentioning it, but Tyson, he wasn't sloppy. Yes, he had better head movement, but still. He had a tight defense. That's what it came down to. That's what got Tyson out of jail 9 times out of 10. His chin wasn't in the air. Yeah, he didn't have loads of gaping holes in his defense. Anyway, I'll be intrigued to see what you guys think. Ruiz needs to be, and I think actually, just quickly, I think the best thing that could happen in this situation is Ruiz goes into this next fight expecting AJ to go backwards, and he meets a brick wall. And I think I'm 50-50 at the moment. I'm not sure what's going to go on. I'm not sure. Half of me thinks AJ will just do what he's done forever and be devastating. The other half thinks of me, he might try something fruity and try something new, aka going backwards. I'm not an insider in that sense. I'm not sure what their plan is. But if he does choose to be a stone wall, that could really shock Ruiz. That could mess his psychology up, especially when he's been expecting it to be chasing the sweetness around. Anyway, let me know your thoughts.